Do you want your knife to be super strong and indestructible, or do you actually want it to be good at cutting things? We're going to be taking a look at some big slicey knives that still have a fair bit of strength, we'll say. Or do they? On today's episode of Knife AQ, episode 210 of the series where I answer all your questions, sharp or dull. All right, folks, welcome. David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the KnifeCenter. That's Thomas behind the camera. If you're new to this series, what we do is we answer your questions. So if you have one, you can drop it in the comments below, and it will be put into the pool of consideration for future episodes. Today's first question comes from McSquirgle, one of my favorite usernames and one who has been featured on the FAQ before. Love the name. Hey, DCA and team. I'm always on the hunt for folding knives with thin, slicey blades and full-sized, comfortable 4-finger grip handles. Would prefer it to be between 3 and 4 inches of cutting edge, well-shaped or contoured handle is a must, as well as thin and slicey blade geometry. Flexible with materials and locking mechanisms. Really curious to see what you recommend. So I'm going to recommend some things on the upper side of that 3 to 4 inch range you were talking about. For the main reason that to get a full 4-finger grip, most often they come with bigger blades. That's makes sense, I guess.
Physics.
There are certainly 3 to just over 3 inch blades with full-sized handles, but more often the case is going to be manufacturers are going to fit handles of that size with blades that use up as much space of the handle or inside the handle when folded as they can, so they can give you more for the folded size. So I got some three main knives here that I think of when I think of knives full size slash on the larger size of full size knives with thin, slicey geometry and comfortable handles. The first is the Pyrite Light Large from CJRB. This is a 3.7 inch blade. Cutting edge is not nearly quite so much. Actually, cutting edge is on the lower side of your range, 3.2 inches, because you do have this prominent finger choil there, allowing you to get closer up on the blade. But you do have a nice, comfortable handle. This is made out of G10. It's got a bit of contour to it. It feels pretty darn good in my hands. And then nice, thin blade stock there. Nothing to worry about in terms of geometry there. Actually, I had this over here. I forgot to put it on the table. This is over there. If you like the drop point blade version, you can get that. It just doesn't come in the light version currently, which means you don't get the contoured handle scales. It's still a good feeling handle, but handle to handle, I think the G10 large light pyrite takes the cake just a little bit. But slicey is an interesting word to think about. When I think of slicing, it's a blade, or it's a motion that tends to really favor a knife with belly, be it a clip point or a drop point like this. That is a slicier blade profile to me than a modified Wharncliffe like on the Pyrite Light. I'm still showing this because your feelings, thoughts on that may feel a little bit different. So there's 2 cool options. About $52 for the light large. And about $57 for this version right here with the with the G10 handles. Both of them have their RPM 9 blade steel, which is a powder metal, or sorry, not a powder metal, a spray formed steel, kind of in between powder metallurgy and traditional ingot steel. Pretty cool stuff, especially for a budget knife. The next one worth looking at slash talking about, the Benchmade Tagged Out. This is a light in the hand knife because you've got grivery handles right here. Whole weight is 2.1 ounces, but you got a 3.5 inch blade length. Cutting edge, where is it? Do we not have cutting edge listed on this one? I shall have to check here momentarily with my handy dandy card. Cutting edge, you're about 3¼ inches right here. And the reason I'm showing this versus maybe some of the more premium versions is the full flat grind on this version is not actually duplicated on all of the other better, quote unquote, better handled versions of this knife. They sometimes have high flat grinds as opposed to the full flat, and we're going for sliciness. So sliciness of the full flat with the blade cut out here, no thumb studs to get in the way. on this CPM 154 blade. And that is a powder metal version of 154 CM. So should give you roughly the same edge retention depending on how hard they treat this version as Benchmade's 154 CM, but the toughness is gonna be higher here. And that's a good thing on a thin blade steel on a folder. That's the one area especially where I think, you know, thin blades can really benefit from steels that have a bit more toughness to them because there's a little less, you know, meat on the bones, essentially. It allows manufacturers to kind of push the envelope a little bit with how thin they can go without sacrificing the durability of the blade. So that's a good thing. And that's one thing that the RPM process, the spray form process on the RPM 9 steel there gives you as well. It's a little more tough than the steel on which it is based. That's a cool knife. 4-finger grip for me on my slightly larger than average hands. You got the crossbar lock. This and the button lock on the pyrites are of course giving you that finger safe closing action, which is always nice. There you go. That is another option. And one more, thinner, longer blade with a full handle and a tougher steel. The Crewwear bladed version of the Stretch 2 XL from Spyderco. 3.99-inch blade. So again, maxing out the length, but cutting edge, about 3.5. So there you go, right in the middle. I said I was going to offer things on the upper end, but he did say cutting edge, not blade length. So I could have even pushed it a little further than the 4 inches. Actually, we've got a Spyderco Police over here somewhere, but we're not going to talk about it apart from right then. The Crewwear steel here is another one of those steel options that gives you more toughness. And on the Spyderco here, which already starts thin and gets thinner and thinner as you go towards the tip, toughness is a good thing. In reality, you could pick honestly nearly any Spyderco and they're gonna be, you know, some will be a little thicker, some will be a little thinner, but even the ones that tend towards the thicker side usually have very good slicing geometry. But this is kind of like the longest, thinnest Spyderco cross-section. Police also works, the Endura also works for this equation, I would say. The Mannix series gets a tiny, tiny bit thicker. The Paramilitary 2 gets a little bit thicker still. Anyway, weeds.
I'm just waiting for the open L comments.
I should have brought an open L. I should have brought a big open L, like a number 9 or whatever the next size up from that is, huh?
Big one.
Yep, that's a very good point. And they have 12C27 as one of the steel options for those, which is a tough steel as well. Insert B-roll here. Anyway, back to the Stretch 2XL. If you want to spend more money than the Open L, 220, just under 229 for this one. The other thing that the Crewwear version gets you over many versions of the Stretch 2XL is sturdier handles. Most of them have injection molded handles right now, and this one has not a contoured handle, but it does have a well-shaped handle in my opinion, and the G10 here makes it feel a little bit more elevated than the injection molded versions. But yeah, big 4-inch blade, great geometry. You can choke up if you need to get the finer control, or have plenty of handle grip there for most 4-fingered folks. I say most. I had a 4-position pocket clip, ambidextrous mid-mounted backlock as well. Awesome knife. Check him out. Hope that helps McSquirgle. How many more times can I say his name?
At least 4.
All right, well now we come to our measured once, cut twice segment where we take a second slice at a previous question. This was in reply to the art knives topic from a couple of weeks ago where I recommended some X-Acto style and utility knife, utility blade holder style knives as a great option for the questioner at the time. This person right here, Dr. Utker, guarantee you I'm not spelling or pronouncing that correctly. For an art design student, I would like to
Not pronouncing anything right.
Once more, from the top. For an art design student, I would like to recommend / point out the Spyderco Stock. It's a small fixed blade designed by Sjoerd Stock, a former art student in the Netherlands. He designed the knife exactly as what he wished he had during his study for all kinds of different tasks. Fixed blade was the obvious choice because of quick one-handed access and the possibility to open paint cans and clean up a knife covered in paint, tape residue, and other project reminders. I'll get down for that. Everything but for the opening of paint cans with the knife. I do not condone. But yeah, I mean, especially with the modified sheep's foot version of the knife right here, it's a great utility blade. It's about $75, 3-inch blade, G10 handles. Steel is 8CR, so you know, maybe a little under par for the price range, but the rest of the design definitely works for the mission statement that we were talking about. Bolter-on sheath, Spyderco's G-clip right there, so it can be worn on the belt, inside the waistband, or even as a pocket fixed blade if you wish. Sure, why not? Definitely worth highlighting as an extra option. Thank you, good doctor, for the comment. Well, now we come to Damyr's Buried Treasure, where we're taking our second spin around the alphabet, picking a brand from each letter, and showing a knife or product that has never been shown on the channel before. Today we're on C. I'm going with Cold Steel. What Cold Steel haven't I shown before? These are the things that just make me smile. That's so good. $71. Less money than the Spyderco, interesting. 6-flange carbon steel mace, 21 inches overall. You've got the wooden shaft and the 6-flanged carbon steel head right there. Is it historically hardened to proper degrees? I don't know. Probably not. Given the price and country of origin, this is one of the set of products that Spyderco Cold Steel makes in South Africa, and they're cool. It's a mace.
I don't think that'll fit in your purse.
It's a mace. It makes me happy. Anyone?
Someone.
Someone out there may have giggled, and you're the person that I did that for. You're welcome. Check it out. Cold Steel 6-flange mace. I love it. Now we come to the lightning round for today. First, questions from Aldi666. Why do you only pick stupid questions? How's it feel? It's a little mean.
Oh, well.
Sorry.
Ask another, bud.
North Coast Gary asks, hi, I was wondering if I should sharpen my Super Steel MagnaCut EDCs to 17 degrees instead of the usual 20 that I've done forever. I'm wanting them as slicey as possible while still holding a decent edge for a reasonable amount of use. So I have done that to a MagnaCut blade. Now you can basically thin out the steel or the edge on any knife out there. The trade-off is going to be less stability at the edge in exchange for a more efficient cut. And what that's going to do, it's going to make it by a certain percentage point a bit more prone to edge damage than the thicker bevel will. But generally, tougher steels can take thinner edges better than less tough steels. And MagnaCut is a tougher steel. And in fact, I have sharpened not this particular Pocket Tango, but one of my personal Pocket Tangos, which is my design here, just full disclosure. MagnaCut blade, I've sharpened one of these down to 17 degrees to see how it held up. I've been very pleased with it. The stuff I'm doing with this size blade anyway has in no way taxed that thinner geometry, and you get a better slice out of it too, which is pretty cool. Well, now we come to our final question of the day, which is, of course, our most seriousest question of the day, don't you know? Which comes from Donald Casey. Serious question, DCA. When the fog is so thick that I can cut it with a knife, which knife should I use? I was working real hard on this one. I was zeroing in on an answer. Thought I had something in my sights that was going to really nail it, but then I missed. That same one person just giggled. Missed.
Yeah, I got you.
Give me nothing to work with over here. Anyway, folks, I need more most serious questions. Drop them in the comments below. And drop all your questions in the comments below so we can keep this series going for another 200 and whatever number of episodes we're on, 210 episodes here. That'd be episode 420. It's a good episode. Anyway, drop them down below. If you've got any alternate suggestions for our questioners today, you can drop those suggestions down below as well. What's y'all's favorite big, thin, slicey knives? Curious to hear your thoughts on that as well. If you want to get your hands on any of the knives or the mace that you saw here today, you can check out the links in the description, which will take you to KnifeCenter.com, where don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program so you can earn some free money to spend on your future knives. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We're signing off. See you next time.